Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to my channel. I was like super excited about this. I couldn't wait. I'm trying to find the right terminology. Should I say it in the past tense? I couldn't wait. I still can't wait. That's why I'm having difficulty saying this. What I wanted to say is I couldn't wait to finally get a chance to have my first impressions and a quick review of this fragrance, but so I couldn't wait, but I still can't wait because I still haven't done it. I was literally extremely disciplined. House of Matriarch sent me this wonderful, wonderful gift. COCO BLANC, there it is. Let me move in close. And let me move out. I have my microphone here, so I want to do it as professionally as possible, guys. And I want you to see this. Mind you, I'm not sponsored by House of Matriarch. This was their free will. They just sent it to me because they believe in my reviews. So thank you so much, House of Matriarch, for that. And let's go straight to it. I've heard differentiating opinions on this one. Who says that it lasts a short time? Who says that it lasts a long time in winter as opposed to lasting a long time or short time in summer? Cold weather, warm weather, 100% natural ingredients in here. COCO BLANC. Now, the first time I read it, the name, I thought to myself, Coco Chanel, like a white version, like a white floral version of some Chanel, of a vision of what Mademoiselle Chanel would be. Boy, was I wrong. Coco is actually literally like a chocolatey cocoa. Nevertheless, when I read Coco, for me, it's always my Coco. So I could envision Coco. Okay, I'm blabbering. It's gourmand all the way. Like my mouth is watering already. So let's try it on. I'm so excited. Oh, wow. Mm. Mm. I need more. This is delicious. Look, I mean, I don't know if somebody was grossed up, but this is like an olfactive experience. And you got to understand, like, listen, I'm like literally watering in my mouth. This is incredible. I want to eat it. Oh, very comforting. Mm. Spicy a little bit too. Not sweet. It has the feeling of white chocolate minus all the extra sugars, like a healthier version of a white chocolate. And it's not overpowering like sugary. It's a white chocolate that sedimentates really lightly on the palate, on the top of the receptacles of your nostrils in the back. And it just like slowly, like a little cloud, just like attaches itself there. And very, very gently is absorbed by all your olfactive receptors. Very delicate, very, very light, very different, very opposed to what we have with the Red Room perfume from House of Matriarch, which is engine oil, literally scorched engine oil, but of course not, but in a very, conceptual way. And this one is the opposite. This one is, I'm sorry, I'm always like talking about Twin Peaks, but I love Twin Peaks so much. And since House of Matriarch made the most incredible Twin Peaks collection of 3 fragrances, well, the only one, but also a really good one at that, everything else kind of rotates for me with House of Matriarch and the esoteric beauty of it all, around similar world as would be Twin Peaks. So for me, this would be the White Lodge. So more than COCO BLANC, this is like how the White Lodge smells. You know what I mean? So we have that scorched engine oil with the black oil at the entrance of the Black Lodge with the 12 sycamore trees around it. But as we have seen in season 3, the entrance to the White Lodge, or what we believe and perceive to be the White Lodge, with the golden liquid, which is not engine oil, it's something else. That golden liquid, that white, almost white beige gold liquid, that's how this smells like. Like I have the feeling the portal to enter the vortex that takes us to the White Lodge smells like this. Because it's woody. We are in the middle of a forest. We are really in the middle of the forest, in the deepest of forests, but there's light penetrating through the leaves. It's not a scary place. It's a very, very safe place. There's a lot of green around us, and it's a forest. Winter has long gone. Spring is there. It's not hot. It's still cool, but there's enough chlorophyll, you know, leaves are green. There's a lot of beautiful green, and there's a lot of beautiful brown, the trunks of the trees. But it's daytime. It's not nighttime. And you hear the wind blowing through the trees, and you do from time to time get hints of birds and little insects around you. And it's a wonderful, comforting noise. You know, you really feel safe. You feel like you're back home in nature. It's so natural, and it's so yummy at the same time. But it makes you think. I can understand why some people say that it doesn't last long. Let me get to the ingredients first, and then we're going to get to why I think it might not last long. So we have a masala chai, or masala chai, woody notes, masoya, vanilla, white chocolate, and natural musk. Quite linear. I guess there's more in here. I don't know, but I would suspect there's more than just what's listed. You know, that touch of chocolate is already kind of, it's very elusive. It's already fading because the woods are kicking out, and the woods kick out. And this is something, and this is why maybe some people think it doesn't last long. If you're very warm, and I'm very warmed up now, it's very warm in here at the moment, so I'm not freezing cold. My body temperature is high. Heating up the fragrance, I have the feeling we kind of, you burn the woods, literally. By burning them, you get that intense smoky smell of the woods. So with the heat of your body, the cooler you, let's say, hypothetically speaking, don't do it, but a cold-blooded creature like a snake, if you were to spray this on a snake that had no temperature really, or almost no temperature, you would have more of that chocolatey scent going on for a longer time. But the body heat melts that chocolate away, and you get the woods. And they're soothing, and they're let me tell you something. It's really hard nowadays to find. Now, I can't make myself, I can't turn into a molecule, you know, tiny little creature, and like go inside the liquid and test what all the ingredients that are in here. I don't know what else is in there. I choose to believe, you know, what is said to me, that it's 100% natural. Now, even if it weren't, but it states it is, so we believe it because controls are very strict. So I have really, it's very, very rare, this is what I want to get to find a perfume that smells so natural. And yet where the natural ingredients aren't screechy. They're mellow, they're subdued, they're very elegant. Very, very elegant. And this is something I cannot stress enough to repeat to you guys. A lot of you write me, you know, how disappointed you are with certain Chanel fragrances as opposed to Thierry Mugler's fragrances, and how Thierry Mugler's fragrances last a decade on your skin, and Chanel is fleeting. The Eau de Toilettes from the Les Exclusives range didn't last long. On me, they last long enough. And then I keep telling you guys, it depends on the aesthetic and the philosophy of a brand behind the perfumes. Yes, I do tendentially, but also because I'm a little bit brainwashed as well by the masses, I do wish that a perfume lasts as long as possible on my skin, just because I associate long lasting with, oh, it's worth spending that money for it. But that's a wrong approach. Now, I'm not, by saying this, I'm not giving perfume makers a free pass to say, make low quality stuff that is fleeting. After 10 minutes, it's gone. So the consumer has to continue respraying, hence utilizing the entire liquid and having to purchase a new one really soon. That's not what I'm saying. We're not giving you perfumers a free pass, not at all. But what I'm saying is there is a certain philosophy behind certain brands and fragrances and compositions that would not work even conceptually if the perfume would last 50 days. Like Eau d'Ispahan from Christian Dior from their Privé range. I love it. I can't use it all the time. It's a very intense one. That one is super cloying. It never leaves the clothes. Heaven forbid you touch clothes with it. And on the skin, it also stays for days. It could have never been a Chanel. Had Eau d'Ispahan been the same liquid with a label on it that says Chanel, I don't know, I'm thinking, well, every name I think about already exists as a perfume. What other thing? Pearl. Let's say the Fire Pearl or the August Pearl, because she was born in August and there's no Chanel perfume called Pearl yet, even though Tendre to me is, but it doesn't matter. Whatever. So if it were called some Chanel name, it wouldn't be a Chanel fragrance. Never. So there's a certain mentality that follows certain, processes. And so since House of Matriarch doesn't create clothing, I'm starting to slowly, I have now 4 fragrances. I've tested 4 fragrances of theirs, and it's not enough to understand the entire philosophy. It's far from being enough. But from these 4, I can already understand that they are very thought through, conceptually speaking. Some of you might say, no, but for the amount of money that I'm paying, it has to last me, 10 hours, 15 hours. I don't know how long it's going to last. This is the first time I sprayed it on, so I'm going to have to see, but it stays close to the skin, but it's beautiful. And Chanel No. 5, the pure perfume, which is super expensive, stays very close to the skin too. It's something that only the ones that you let come really close to you and become intimate with you, those are the people that have the privilege to enter your sphere and smell what you smell. Because I remind myself this all the time as well, not just you guys, but I tell myself all the time, Dacob, you're wearing this perfume for you, for yourself, not for others. Yes, it's sweet when somebody enters the room and says, oh, this is a lovely perfume, and you're the only one wearing fragrance and you're happy about it. You got a compliment, hooray. It's not always the best thing to get compliments for fragrances. That's another story. And there's a very logical explanation behind that as well. Well, at least in my mind, logical. But so you have to see it this way. Now I forgot what I was talking about. Okay, no, because now I'm in the optic and the mindset of, okay, okay. Oh my God, I'm opening too many parentheses here. But let's talk quickly about why I don't think giving compliments for perfumes is necessarily a good thing. And I was explaining this to my mom the other day because I gifted her a Hypnotic Poison 100 ml bottle formulation from a year or 2 ago. And she was like, it's intense. She loves it, but she's like, but I don't get compliments for it like I do when I wear Giorgio Beverly Hills. And I told her, well, this is actually a good sign. If somebody tells you it's overpowering and not smelling well, that's also not a good sign, but who cares? You're wearing a perfume for yourself. But if nobody acknowledges it and says nothing to you, that means that they feel comfortable in your presence. That means that they're receptive, because people are like animals, it's all about instinct, an instinctive reaction to everything that is out of the ordinary. If a scent and a smell, especially on you, with your chemical reactions together, feels comforting to them, feels normal, natural to them, they're not going to really acknowledge it. They're just it's going to pass in their subconscious minds as a natural state of being, which is great. That's the best thing ever, because that means that you have found that balance, that your own chemistry has found the balance with the chemistry of the fragrance, and your environment is blending in with it. That's a great thing, actually. So I'm never sad, again, that's what I was saying before. I'm also poisoned and brainwashed by this. Oh, you get a compliment for your perfume, that's a good sign. Well, if you get a compliment for your perfume, you can be sure that that means your perfume is overpowering, but people are intrigued by it. If it's overpowering and people are annoyed by it and have the feeling they're going to get a headache from it, that's, of course, not a good thing at all. But if nobody reacts to your new fragrance, that's a good sign. And I know you're going to be like, what? And some of you are going to be like, wow, mind blown. But to me, really, this is something to abide by. Now, having said that, a lot of natural products, if you don't get comments on them, especially in this case, it's because you're blending in really nature with your own chemistry. And a lot of natural fragrances can have an aggressive type of smell, because being natural, they're also very unstable and they react to heat, to light. They can go off or bad really quickly. You know, it's a synthetic part of a fragrance that usually keeps it stable, keeps it for a longer period of time. It preserves it, like a preservative in food, or like if you would mix wool with a bit of acrylic. Well, if the wool is done properly, it doesn't create little balls and pebbles, and it doesn't create the fleece, and it doesn't do the pilling. But a little bit of synthetic gives it that stability. That was the explanation back in the 90s. But I mean, today, you know, still pure wool is the best way to go if the hair is long enough, and yada yada. Oh my God, I'm opening another parenthesis. Let's close that parenthesis before we go down another rocky road. It's good to have structure in whatever you do. So in a natural fragrance, to balance out the ingredients, that they're not screechy, that they're not, you know, too crazy all over the place, is a good thing. Granted, I have tested this now for the first time. In winter, even though here it's really warm, I get the woods, the chocolate, the cocoa, whatever you want to call it, is gone by now. But it left its kind of residue, its kind of digital prints, its DNA on top of the woods. So it's very elegantly, it left the room, but it left a little trace, a little cloud behind itself. So when the woods enter, on top of these woods, we get these like conceptual notions of white chocolate attached to them, and it's beautiful. And that's what mellows the wood, and it doesn't make it aggressive to me, to my nose. Now, yes, this could last not forever, but you being the person that wears the fragrance for yourself, saying that, you know, Chanel No. 5 Pure Perfume is a very close scent. Somebody has to really come close to you in order to have the privilege to smell something so exceptional, mixed with your own chemistry. Similar here. When somebody moves in close and smells that warmth that emanates from you, it's a major turn on. Major turn on. And I think that's what ultimately makes this perfume a winner. It's subtle, but it's woody, and it's slightly smoky. And did I read there's sandalwood in here? There's a little bit of sandalwood touch to it. The smokiness of it. So I am in the woods. I have found my portal to the White Lodge. But I'm not entering the White Lodge. The portal is not opening up for me. But that's okay. I enjoy the surrounding. I'm just so happy to be there, to be able to experience the truth, you know, to have found that place, that very special sacred place. And I just lay down on the grass next to that golden little puddle, and I fall asleep. And as I fall asleep, I let go of the control of my senses, and everything just flows over me. And all of a sudden, it's thanks to my dream that I can enter the White Lodge. That was the key. That was the trick. While you're awake and conscious, you cannot enter certain spaces, certain realms inside of yourself, ultimately, because that's where the White Lodge ultimately resides, inside of you. And this fragrance makes me feel like if I fell asleep in nature, in the woods, and I found the reverse part of myself. So if this was the conscious Dacob, he falls asleep and then he enters this side and then looks at himself from over here. That's how this perfume smells. It's that fuzzy. And a bit dangerous because it's a territory I haven't been before. So of course, within a dream, logic plays a different role. But there's always that feeling of safety that's present. This is not a nightmare. It's a very, very pleasant dream. It's a dream for which the outcome is not clear yet, just like in life, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Anything can happen. But because it is a dream, because of the nature of the dream itself, within our society and how our culture perceives dreams, you are unconscious, but a part of you still knows that you are safe because it is a dream. And so you let yourself fall even deeper into the dream because you know it is a dream. And that's so comforting to me. I don't know if that ever happens to you, but there are certain dreams where I know that I'm dreaming. There are certain nightmares where I know that I'm dreaming. But there are also certain pleasant dreams where I kind of know that I'm dreaming, and yet the dream is in control, nevertheless. But because there's a part of me that's aware that I'm dreaming, it lets go even more. And that's what these woods inspire me. With that soft breeze of that white chocolate floating, you know, on this side of me. The awake side doesn't have it anymore because it's fleeting. But here on this side, on my sleeping side, on my dream side, I find that chocolate again. And it is comforting and amazing. Well done, House of Matriarch. Seriously. It makes you want to eat it up, you know. I mean, I also love my commercial fragrances. You know, I love the original 90s Dolce & Gabbana, Dior Addict, Poison from Christian Dior. I even love the Alexander McQueen, the new one in Eau de Parfum, the Pure Parfum. And they have something synthetic in them, all of them, you know. And I like that a designer created concoction that is very abstract. But it is sometimes really good to fall back into nature and just separate yourself from all that artificiality, the construct of a dream. Because, you know, big brands and big labels, they offer you a dream. You buy into luxury. You buy into Chanel, a beautiful brooch or bag, because you're buying a dream. With fragrance, it's slightly different. With these commercial, mass-produced fragrances, you are buying the dream. But with a natural fragrance like this one, it's not like you're buying that dream. You're buying something completely natural. And it just so happens that when you fall asleep and you start dreaming, it becomes a part of your dream. So rather than offering your dream, like the mass-produced designer fragrances, this one doesn't offer you a dream. This one appears within your dream that you already are having. And I think that is very elegant and very beautiful. And because of that nature, you gotta detach yourself from this notion of having to have something that lasts 24 hours on your skin. Because this one travels with you. You know, it's not your guide through a journey, but it's your companion. It goes on a journey with you into the subconscious part of yourself. Wonderful, wonderful fragrance. I wonder how long it lasts, but I guess that's why all of these bottles, and I mentioned this in my other video, you could check it out. I'll link in the description box down below. My first impressions of the House of Matriarch Twin Peaks fragrance set. I said, you know, blue glass really protects liquid from altering from, you know, heat and sun, mostly sun, so that the chemicals stay as intact as possible for as long as possible. But I really wonder how this one will last, because I mean, I will use it sparingly. It's a 15 milliliter vial, and I don't want to just like finish it all up in 1 month, you know, as I do with the 15 ml Christian Dior Privé range. Those I just pump and spray and spray. They're like bam, 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 all gone immediately. This one I gotta treasure more, you know. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, House of Matriarch. I am very pleasantly surprised. It's not a perfume for every day. You gotta be in a special mood for it. And when you are, feel free to dream away and let yourself just fall, you know, and dream. So guys, if you have tried any House of Matriarch perfumes that you love very much, let me know in the description box down below. And in general, I would really like to know which perfumes make you dream. Not that you're buying them already with the notion and the brainwashed notion of, the brand already is selling you a dream. Not that type. I'm asking if you have a fragrance out there that when you purchased it or when it was given to you, it didn't come already with a dream, but rather it started making, it started being your companion within your own dreams. That's a difficult question to answer. Maybe you're going to need some time to think about it, because the notion just hit me now while I was reviewing this one. So it's a process. We're constantly, my reviews are literally, it's like growth in the happening, because as I'm filming, things come to my mind. I just say them. It's a creative process. That's what it is. And I never know where I'm going to end. Like when I begin, you could call it a cathartic process as well. When I begin a review, I never know where it's going to take me, and that's the beauty of it. And that's why I can't do too many of them, because it really takes out everything out of me, because it also energizes me incredibly. But you can imagine why I can't do like 10 perfume reviews, like shoot them all in one day, one after the other. Not just because the fragrances would be all over me, but because they take me to places so far away and so deep and so emotional that I want to stay in that place. I need to stay in that place for as long as possible. Really live it, experience it, and then move on to a new place. So you understand, that's why it takes everything out of me, because it also gives me everything. And that's why perfume reviews need distance from one to the other. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please do thumb it up and let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. Also, do consider, if you haven't already, subscribing to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. No matter where you are, awake or asleep, in both realms, you should never give up on love. Love you guys. See you soon. Take care. Bye.